हेलो हेलो हेलो। जी जी। क्या अंशिका, अपने पैनलिस्ट आ चुके हैं तीनों, कंफर्म कर लो।
Yes, sir. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Sonika, a final year BTech CS student specializing in artificial intelligence and machine learning at Guru Jambheshwar University of Science and Technology, Research. It's my pleasure to welcome you all.
सोनिका, your voice is getting echoed. I think या किसी और बच्चे ने भी साथ में
Sir, I'll fix that. Just a second. Good afternoon, everyone. All right, thank you. We'll wait for a couple of minutes for other participants to join the meeting. Okay.
I think Shubham has come, Nishan has come. और किसको आना था? पुष्पेंद्र को.
Also, I request everyone to mute their microphones unless they want to speak something.
Shubham, you can hear us?
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Okay. I was checking whether you are audible or not. That's why I asked this thing. Same Nishant.
Yes,
How
sir.
are you?
Fine, sir.
Feeling high?
Yes.
It's a great feeling when you teach your juniors or your other university mates something. It's a great feeling. Pushpendra, how are you?
I'm fine, sir. How are you?
I'm good. So, can we see your beautiful face?
Wait a minute. My camera is on.
Good. Now it's perfect.
Thank you, sir.
All three of you have to keep your voice up so that everyone can listen.
Good afternoon, everyone. Am I audible? All right, I think we should start. I'm Sonika, final year BTech CSC student specializing in artificial intelligence and machine learning at Guru Jambheshwar University of Science and Technology, sir. It's my pleasure to welcome you all to today's Infosys panel discussion. I'm really excited to be your host for this session, where we'll be hearing real experiences, insights, and valuable lessons from our Infosys alumni. To begin with, I would like to warmly welcome our esteemed guests who have already joined us today. First, we have with us Dr. Pratap Malik, Director at Training and Placement Cell GJUST. Sir, thank you for joining us today. I would request you to kindly address the gathering and share a few words with us.
Thank you, Sonika. Thank you very much. So first of all, although all three panelists are our students, but today they are in the capacity of resource persons. They will be sharing their experience. So as Director Training Placement, I would like to welcome all the three panelists of today's talk, Nishant, Shubham, and Pushpendra. And I also welcome our chairperson of CSC department, who will be joining shortly, Assistant Director Dr. Aditya Veer Singh ji, this entire team of volunteers who is very dedicatedly working to make this mission Infosys successful, operation Infosys successful, and all the students who have joined this very important meeting, panel discussion. So dear students, you understand this fact that for a university like ours, it is a very, very, you can say, fortunate thing that a company like Infosys is coming repeatedly since last 5 to 6 years. And initially it used to come for SC role, 3.6 LPA role, but since last 2 years, and they have started this, you can say, competitive hiring, or you can say high-end hiring, in which they are offering the SP role, they are offering the DSC role, up to like 21 LPA they are offering, they are ready to offer. So if they are offering this big role, so they are expecting big preparations also. So जितनी महंगी कोई चीज आप बड़ी चीज खरीदना चाहेंगे, उसकी कीमत उतनी ज्यादा देनी पड़ेगी. ऐसा नहीं हो सकता कि आप गाड़ी तो कोई बहुत महंगी खरीदना चाहते हैं लेकिन कीमत नहीं देना चाहते हैं. इट्स नॉट पॉसिबल टू गेट एनीथिंग. देयर इज नो फ्री लंच, है ना. यू अंडरस्टैंड दिस फैक्ट. तो इस जर्नी में जो सक्सेस का सबसे बड़ा आधार है वो आपकी मेहनत, आपकी डेडिकेशन, आपकी सिंसियरिटी, यही है. लेकिन इसमें हमारा जो रोल है, बीइंग अ यूनिवर्सिटी or being training and placement cell, our role is to motivate you people. Our role is to arrange the, you can say, trainings or talks or such experience sharings, and that's why we keep on like doing these things. आज दोपहर को भी मैं एक मीटिंग ले रहा था जिसमें कि इन्फोसिस ड्राइव जब होगी तो कौन हॉस्पिटैलिटी करेगा, कौन बाकी चीजों की टेक केयर करेगा, वो सब सेकेंड ईयर और थर्ड ईयर के बच्चे लगे हुए हैं. मैंने उनसे पूछा कि व्हाट इज द मोटिवेशन, व्हाट इज द इंस्पिरेशन, कि आप क्यों कर रहे हैं, किन के लिए कर रहे हैं. तो उन्होंने कहा कि हम अपने सीनियर्स के लिए कर रहे हैं, हमारे सीनियर्स अच्छी प्लेसमेंट हासिल कर सकें, SPDSC रोल हासिल कर सकें, तो उसके लिए कर रहे हैं. देखिए जनरली क्या होता है, बड़े छोटों के लिए करते हैं, है ना. घर में भी आप देखते हैं माँ बाप जो है वो बच्चों के लिए करते हैं, लेकिन हमारी यूनिवर्सिटी में ये एक बहुत अच्छा कल्चर एस्टेब्लिश हुआ है पिछले कुछ सालों से कि जो जूनियर्स हैं वो अपने सीनियर्स के लिए कर रहे हैं. जैसे बच्चे अपने माँ बाप के लिए करते हैं आगे चलकर, तो अपने यहाँ जो जूनियर्स हैं वो सीनियर्स के लिए काम कर रहे हैं. ये अब मान लीजिए सोनिका है या आशीष है, ये सब लोग जो हैं, जो कि अभी हो सकता है कि ये खुद अपीयर ना हो रहे हो इन्फोसिस के ड्राइव में, बट दीज पीपल आर लाइक रिपीटेडली दे आर वर्किंग हार्ड कि हम जो हैं क्या क्या कर सकते हैं हमारे जो सीनियर्स हैं उनकी सक्सेस के लिए. और आपका जो बैच है बच्चों, वो बड़ा फॉर्चुनेट है. आपके बैच को इस साल शुरू में फेस प्रेप की एक ट्रेनिंग करने को मिली, जिसमें वो ट्रेनिंग सीधी कॉम्पिटिटिव प्रोग्रामिंग पे थी. इससे पहले भी हमने लास्ट ईयर भी फेस प्रेप की ट्रेनिंग कराई थी, परंतु दैट ट्रेनिंग वाज फॉर लाइक SC रोल. दिस टाइम कॉम्पिटिटिव प्रोग्राम की फेस प्रेप ट्रेनिंग हुई है, तो यू पीपल अटेंडेड दैट ट्रेनिंग. लाइक आई थिंक 200 के आसपास बच्चों ने वो ट्रेनिंग अटेंड की है। और उसके बाद सबसे बड़ी बात है कि हैक विद इन्फी का मौका आपको मिल गया, और हैक विद इन्फी में भी अपने बच्चों ने अच्छा परफॉर्म किया। 9 स्टूडेंट्स गोट सिलेक्टेड इन दैट हैक विद इन्फी। और अभी जल्दी ही आप इन्फोसिस की नेक्स्ट जो ड्राइव है उसमें पार्टिसिपेट करने वाले हैं। फेस प्रेप के साथ मिलकर हमने आप लोगों के लिए मॉक टेस्ट अरेंज किए हैं। 5 या 6 मॉक टेस्ट हो गए हैं। एक मॉक टेस्ट कल फिजिकल मोड में होना है। ये मॉक टेस्ट भी सारे के सारे उसी पैटर्न पे हैं जो हमारा एसपीडीएससी के लिए आने वाले हैं। 3 क्वेश्चंस 3 घंटे उस तरह से। तो ये सब आपको आपकी प्रैक्टिस बढ़ाने के लिए है जो हो रहा है। इसके अलावा जो भी मटेरियल अपने पास अवेलेबल है, चाहे वो आपके सीनियर से अरेंज किया गया हो, चाहे फेस प्रेप से अरेंज किया गया हो, वो सारा मटेरियल भी कंटिन्यूसली आपको फीड किया जा रहा है, ताकि आपके पास जिसे कहते हैं ना शस्त्रास्त्रों की कोई कमी ना रहे। युद्ध लड़ने जा रहे हो तो किसी हथियार की कमी की वजह से ना हार जाओ, मोटिवेशन की वजह से ना हार जाओ, इसलिए मोटिवेशन भी है। हथियारों की वजह से ना हार जाओ तो हथियार भी दिए जा रहे हैं, है ना। लेकिन लड़ना तो खुद पड़ेगा। ऐसा नहीं हो सकता कि सर जो है वो आपके हथियार लेके लड़ने लगे, ऐसा तो पॉसिबल नहीं हो पाएगा। तो लड़ना आपको खुद पड़ेगा। और आज का जो हमारा प्रोग्राम है वो भी उसी कड़ी में एक बड़ा महत्वपूर्ण प्रोग्राम है, जिसमें अपने तीनों जो पैनलिस्ट हैं उनके साथ सोनिका की इंटरेक्शन होगी। और इस इंटरेक्शन में से पता चलेगा हमारे को कि हमें तैयारी और अच्छे से कैसे करनी चाहिए, इंटरव्यू की तैयारी कैसे करनी चाहिए, इसके साथ साथ जो हमारा टेस्ट है उसकी तैयारी कैसे करनी चाहिए। धीरे धीरे करके हमारा जो ये रेशियो है, देखो इन्फोसिस हमसे एक्सपेक्ट कर रही है कि जैसे हमारे यहाँ से कभी 101 बच्चे एससी रोल में निकले थे, कभी हमारे यहाँ से 49 बच्चे एससी रोल में निकले थे, तो अब 100 बच्चे हमारे एसपीडीएससी रोल में निकलने चाहिए, 60 बच्चे 70 बच्चे 50 बच्चे इस रोल में निकलने चाहिए। तभी इन्फोसिस जो है वो हमारे साथ अपने संबंधों को कंटिन्यू करने वाली है। इसलिए आपकी जो ये बैच है आपका वो फॉर्चुनेट भी है, साथ साथ में चैलेंज भी है। आपके बैच ने अगर कुछ भी थोड़ा बहुत 19-21 कर दिया तो हो सकता है जूनियर बैच के लिए टाटा बाय बाय भी हो सकता है इन्फोसिस की तरफ से, क्योंकि इसलिए बहुत बड़ी रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी आपके कंधों पे है। तो मैं तीनों पैनलिस्ट को एक बार फिर वेलकम करता हूं, और बाकी सभी कोऑर्डिनेटर्स वॉलंटियर्स को भी मैं अप्रिशिएट करता हूं। और आप सभी स्टूडेंट्स भी इस समय 100 की नंबर में आ गए हैं, बहुत अच्छा है। और इसके साथ ही मैं सभी को आशीर्वाद और बेस्ट विशेस देता हूं। थैंक यू।
Thank you so much, sir, for your guidance and encouraging words. Next, we have with us Dr. Sanjeev, Chairperson, CSC, Guru Jambeshwar University of Science and Technology. Sir, we are truly honored to have you with us today. I would request you to kindly share a few words with us. Excuse me, Sanjeev, sir. Am I audible?
Sir is there?
Yes, sir. I think sir was there in the meeting. We checked recently. Sir is not there. Okay, and now I would like to welcome Mr. Aditya Veer Singh, Assistant Director, Training and Placement Cell, GJUST. Sir, we are delighted to have you with us. I request you to kindly share a few words with us.
Thank you very much, Sonika, for the warm welcome. And I welcome the panelists for the today discussion for the Infosys Drive, Shubham, Nishant, and Pushpinder. And we were very closely associated when they were in their final year, and we have worked hand to hand with on various programs. So I'm very glad that all the three of them are very bright students of the university, and they are here again to guide their juniors for the upcoming Infosys Drive, which is very important for our university. As already mentioned by Pratap sir, that basis on the performance of this year's students, the Infosys will decide whether they will be coming in the future or not. So it is very important for us, for our senior students, the panelists who are here, that they motivate and guide our students in such a manner that more number of students get select, and Infosys keep coming for the recruitment in our university. So thank you once again, and I thank the panelists to join this panel discussion, and thank you once again. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for your valuable insights. Now, moving forward, I am delighted to introduce our Infosys panelists who have kindly joined us today to share their experiences and valuable insights with our students. Firstly, we have with us Ruchi, who is currently working at Infosys as a specialist programmer level 1 from batch 2026. Ruchi, a very warm welcome to you. We are glad to have you with us today. Next, we have with us Shubham, who is currently working as a digital specialist engineer at Infosys from batch 2027. Shubham, a very warm welcome to you. We are really glad to have you with us today. And finally, we have with us Nishant, who is currently working as a digital specialist engineer at Infosys from batch 2027. Nishant, a very warm welcome to you. We are really glad to have you with us today. A very warm welcome to all our panelists. Now that we have introduced our panelists, let's begin with our interaction. Ruchi, I'd like to begin our interaction with my first question.
Hello, Sonika.
What are
Thank you for having me.
सोनिका एक सेकेंड आई
जी,
थिंक
forward.
रुचि ने अपना वीडियो
yes,
ऑन नहीं किया हुआ था
तो पता भी नहीं लगा कि पैनलिस्ट में रुचि आई हुई है.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, actually, I'm having this from desktop. It doesn't have camera access, so
अच्छा
that's why.
ठीक है ओके ओके नो इशू सो many congratulations and welcome to Ruchi.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
ठीक है सोनिका please go ahead.
Okay, sir. So my first question is, what are the main subjects and concepts that Infosys typically asks freshers in the technical interviews? Should we focus more on fundamentals or advanced topics?
When it comes to subjects, the subject taught us in the 4 years of the computer science degree, most of them are important. Like the core CS subjects, data structures, algorithms are the most important part. Though you can't clear the OA without them. All the 3 questions will be from that part only. Then for interview, we have various subjects that are very important. For example, operating system, database management system. In database management system, SQL queries are very important, really important. Like for SP role, every student had to answer one DSE question, which was medium level lead code question, and an SQL query. For some students were asked 2 to 3 SQL queries. Then they asked computer network and OOPS. For level, I would say fundamentals must be really clear, and not too advanced topics are not required for DSE role, but for SP role, they expect you to have advanced subjects. And any one language, programming language, I would say C++ or Java, you must know about it, about how memory is stored in it, and the basic details asked, not just the syntax. And in the interview, the most important part are the projects. You must go through them really well so that you can answer every in-depth question asked.
Thank you, Ruchi, for sharing that. That gives students a clearer idea of how they should approach their technical preparation. Moving on to my next question. For students aspiring for joining Infosys, what specific skills or competencies should they focus on?
When it comes to skills, for high-level roles like SP roles, the most important skill they require you to have is problem solving and logical thinking. They judge you on the basis of DSA only. I would again emphasize that having a clear understanding of data structures and algorithms will help you not only in OA but interview as well. And the next one I would say is communication skill. You must be able to communicate your thoughts properly. Yeah, these 2 I would say were really important, and the basic coding proficiency is a must.
Thank you, Ruchi, for sharing those valuable insights. Also, what are the common resume mistakes that hurt a candidate's chances of getting shortlisted or progressing in an interview? What should students avoid and prioritize?
Resume plays a very important role in your interview. Most of the questions asked to you will be from resume only. All the languages or skills you have mentioned in your resume, you must know them very clearly. All the projects that you have mentioned, you must have done them yourself. Don't just copy paste the projects. And also, don't make the resumes too long. Having a one page resume crisp is good enough. I would say just go for at max 2 pages. I would say one is enough. And then don't add irrelevant personal details like, I mean, photos and all. Make it professional as you can. Uh, and some silly mistakes you must avoid are grammatical errors or spelling mistakes. And don't add skills like listening and all. You must make your resume very technical for good roles. And you must have good certificates. Don't add irrelevant certificates like, I would say, if you have certificates from or a proper internship certificate, then only you should add that certificate. If the authorizing company is very comfortable with sharing their personal details, or they are at a very small level, like a very beginner friendly startup, then I would suggest you don't add such. They may think that you just added that just to fill your resume.
Thank you, Ruchi. I'm sure this will help our students make their resumes more effective. And my final question for you is, what are the common questions asked in the HR and behavioral round? How should candidates prepare their answers? And what is your framework for answering them authentically? Was I audible?
uh, no, just a minute.
Should
Could you please repeat?
I repeat the question? Sure, I will repeat the question. So, what are the common questions asked in the HR and behavioral round? How should candidates prepare their answers? And what is your framework for answering them authentically?
For HR round, communication skills are most important. Make sure you are comfortable in the language you are communicating in. English is most preferred. The most common questions are actually giving your introduction in the first few minutes. Make sure you introduce yourself in a crisp manner. You keep it prepared in advance, 4 to 5 lines. Mostly tell about your technical achievements. You may avoid your personal achievements, but, and then you should always, the company you are applying for, you must have a reason to. They may ask why us. It is very common question. Then about why would you join them and where do you see yourself after joining them in 5 years? And a very common question they ask in HR round is any challenge you may have faced. And for that, I would say tell about the challenges you faced during your hackathons or making projects with your friends rather than your personal challenges. And the framework most of the students should use is, and which I too use, is the STAR method. It is a very widely used professional framework for answering HR round questions. STAR stands for situation, task, action, and result. First, you properly describe the situation you were in, briefly set context for the situation, then you explain the task, what was expected of you in that situation, and then the action, what specific action did you take for that, and then what were the outcomes. The last part, result, is what was the outcome, the takeaway or learning that you get from that. Yeah, this was all from my side.
Thank you so much, Ruchi, for sharing your experience and insights with us. Now, moving on to Shubham. Shubham, I would like to ask you my first question. Which round of the hello Shubham, am I audible to you?
Yes, Sonika, you are.
Okay, hi Shubham. So my first question to you is, which round of the Infosys selection process generally surprises students the most? And what should they expect from it?
For me, the most surprising round was the interview round because generally the coding rounds, the students are aware about what the problems will be asked in that round. But the interview round, we don't know that what the interviewer might ask us. So I was expecting that mostly the interview would be technical and the interviewer would be asking only DSA problems and only about my projects. But like they were also judging my confidence and the ability that how I could explain and approach to the problems. They were not just checking whether I answered the problem or not. They wanted to know how much I actually know about that particular topic. They wanted to know my approach clearly and how I can clearly explain my thoughts. And another thing is that I noticed that they quite went deeply to my into my resume. They asked everything like from my skills to what I have written in my certifications. They were deeply interested and they asked many questions from the resume. So like I would suggest everyone so that if they make the resume, then be genuine and you should also know about the topics that you have written in the resume. And if you don't even know deeply about that topic, at least try to learn the most important concepts from that topic. So like the interview tested my technical knowledge, problem solving approach, communication skills, and how confidently I could explain what I have done. Therefore, if you are preparing for the interview, just don't memorize the answers. Try to be logical in your answers and be prepared what you have written in the resume.
Thank you, Shubham, for sharing that. That gives our students a better understanding for what they can expect from the selection process. Moving on to my next question, how important are communication skills during the selection process? Can weak communication become a problem eventually for a technically strong candidate?
I think communication skills are far more important than technical skills. Like if you have you have the best knowledge in technical skills, but you are not able to explain the topics or the concepts to the interviewer, then your chances for getting selected will be very low because like you are not able to express what you want to answer and you might give wrong answers to that problems. So uh, so the technical knowledge is also equally important than the communication skills. So I also noticed that during the interview of our batch, the students, the most of the students who got selected, they had a strong hold on their communication skills, and I think that was the best skill for them for getting selected for the DSC roles that they have got. And the some of the students who didn't got selected were also pointed out by the interviewer that they need to improve their English speaking and needed more confidence in their answers. So I would recommend that everyone should develop both the technical skills and also the communication skills in hand. So you don't need very advanced English in that, but you should be able to explain everything to the interview.
Thank you, Shubham. I'm sure this is an important takeaway for our students. So my next question to you is, if a candidate doesn't know the answer to a question during the interview, how should they handle the situation professionally?
I think there can be two scenarios where the students can be stuck in the interview. First is that they completely don't know about the answer that the interviewer have asked him. And the second is that they at least know one or two points about that topic. In both the situations, I think that to be honest with the interviewer and don't try to be bluff or stay silent in the interview. If I don't know anything, I would simply tell the interviewer that, sir, I don't know this topic, but I'll try to answer that topic. Like if I at least know one or two topics, then I will answer them and definitely explain my approach to the interviewer, because the interviewer expects that at least the student should speak up. If they don't even know the answer, they should say that, sir, I don't know, and they should be eager to learn about the topic. Like I would say that, sir, I don't know about this answer, but I would be eager to learn and I would learn these topics in the recent days. So even before the interview started, the HR also told us that if we don't know the answers completely or exactly what the answer could be for a problem, still try to explain the panelist. Like if I don't know the answer 100%, then I will try to explain them the 90% of the problem and solve the 90%. So the interviewer will check that I have the ability to solve the answer and can solve 100% of the problem. So they will find that I can fit in this role. So I believe that instead of staying silent or giving a confidently wrong answer, it is better to be honest and explain whatever you know and show a logical approach for that problem.
Thank you, Shubham, for sharing your valuable perspective on this. So, my final question for you is: apart from academic subjects, are candidates also asked about current technology trends or industry-related topics during the Infosys interview?
Yes, I many of the questions are not only from the core subjects that we learn in a 4-year BTech. Some of the questions they asked about the latest trends and AI and cloud computing and all. So the interviewer is interested that how much we are aware about the current technologies and what are the developments happening in the tech industry. So you don't need to be expert in having all the knowledge that the current scenario is going on in tech industry, but at least we should know that what basic things are going on. Like if they ask about AI, like what ChatGPT we are using, or what are the new updates of which are coming and new AI that have been developed, what are their features. So at least we should know basic things about that. So I will say that the students or everyone should have a basic knowledge and have a knowledge about the important trends and the technical things. And apart from having the basic skills that they have developed in 4 years, they should learn extra from that, because the interview is unexpected and anything can be asked in the interview. That's why.
Thank you so much, Shubham, for sharing your experience and insights with us. Now, moving on to Nishant. Nishant, am I audible to you?
Yes, sir.
Okay, hi Nishant. I'd like to ask you my first question. If there is a group discussion or communication based assessment, what approach should candidates take to stand out?
Okay, so thanks first of all for having me. And I think the most important thing is to be confident and communicate your thoughts clearly. I think you don't necessarily have to speak the most in group discussion. Instead, focus on making relevant and meaningful points. And also listen carefully to what others are saying and don't interrupt them. I mean, if possibly try to build on someone else's point or add a different perspective. Good communication is not just about speaking. I think it's also about listening and presenting your ideas. And I think you should not dominate the group discussion. You should like more on participating in that.
Thank you, Nishant, for sharing that. I'm sure this will help our students approach such assessments with more confidence. So, moving on to my next question. After getting selected at Infosys, what skills should college students start developing now to prepare themselves for the training?
Okay, so I think I would suggest students should focus mainly on their technical fundamentals. I mean, you should not start from zero from the day one during the uh, training. You should focus on technical fundamentals and problem solving and programming, data structure, algorithm, OOPS. And you should also learn the SP2 role requirements like system design, low level design, and high level design. And during training, you will have to learn and work with other people. I would also suggest doing some projects and practicing coding regularly. You don't need to learn everything at once. Just build strong fundamentals and be consistent.
Okay, thank you, Nishant, for sharing that. I'm sure this will help our students prepare themselves better. So, moving on to our next question is looking back at your Infosys selection journey, what do you think made your profile stand out from other candidates? And what can students do to build a stronger profile before appearing for the drive?
I think the one plus point in my profile was the competitive programming section in my resume. Like I mentioned that I have solved 1,000 problems on different coding platforms like CodeChef and CodeForces. And I also mentioned my achievements like three-time winner at university level coding contest and my ratings on CodeChef and CodeForces.
Nishant, are you still there? Hello, Nishant.
Yes, yes, am I audible?
Oh, yes, you are audible.
Do I have to
Your
repeat?
video froze. Okay, okay. I think I have an unstable network. Okay, thank you, Nishant, for sharing that. So, my final question for you is if you could share one mistake you made during your Infosys selection experience that you would want your juniors to avoid, what would it be?
Uh, I would say I spend most of my time in creating coding profile on CodeChef and CodeForces and didn't learn much about development. So my resume was without any project and without any experience. It was all about data structure and algorithm. And the deal breaking point was just the problem solving. So that was the biggest mistake that I did. So I would say that juniors should avoid this, should make at least one or two projects, and based on the trend, make their project on more AI side, like using generative AI and using Python, not just solving thousands of problems on lead core and code.
Okay, thank you, Nishant, for sharing that. I'm sure our students can learn a lot from your experience. Now that we had a great time, a great interaction with the panelists, we'll open the floor for our students. If anyone has a question for our panelists, please feel free to ask.
I have a question. Myself.
Please move forward, Lakshya Patel.
I'm Lakshmata. I'm a fourth year student. Currently studying BTIT. My question is, what kind of projects get the funding? Because there are different ways to data analytics, data science. What kind of projects should one prefer? Like web development or
Lakshya, you are not audible.
am I audible?
Hello?
Student can paste their queries in the message also, no?
Yes,
They
sir,
can
sure.
post their message box also.
Yes, sir.
So Nika, check the messages also.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So Prateek asked that how much project is enough in resume? Panelists, anyone would like to answer this question? How much project is enough in resume?
I think 2 to 3 major projects are enough for a resume. But you might also add some other projects, like you have small projects, for the interviews that you can list down, and then list down after that 2 or 3 projects. But mainly you must have, uh, majorly you must have 2 projects that must be a major project.
So the next question is from Lakshay Pathak, and the question is, what kind of project should resume for web development, data science, low-level stuff like compilers and engines? Or what? What domain? Okay.
I think you should focus more on the trending technologies, like using Python and AI, using framework related to Python, and using generative AI. I mean, the hiring process has changed. They are using different hiring process, and these trending technology projects more. I mean, they consider more trending technology projects. So your project must contain AI.
Okay, so the next question Hanshika asked is limited time for DSC preparation and what is to be prioritized?
Okay, so if you haven't done much of DSA, like you haven't done completely DSA, trees and graph, I think you should focus on linear data structure at least. Instead of covering all topics, you should cover array and then hash map, hash set, and stack and queues, like linear data structure, and then start solving problem. I mean, you should spend more time on your keyboard instead of watching lectures. Solve at least 100, 200 problems on lead code and CSES problem set. It would be more helpful.
Okay, so the next question Lakshya Pathak asked is there any like too much AI or ML in your resume? The amount of AI should be used in a resume, I guess that is what he is asking.
Yeah, I mean, you should, whatever the project you have made, just use an AI in that. Like if you made an analytics project, you should use AI that based on the analysis you have done in that in the backend. There should be some output using AI library. No, don't go for machine learning.
Okay, so Pratyaksh asked that can you give a little more clear and detailed picture about stuffs interviewer actually expect from the candidate?
Okay, so first of all, you should be good at problem solving and data structure and algorithm. You should know, I mean, you should at least answer all the DSA question, or at least 3 to 4 questions of DSA. And then they come for SQL queries, and then they come for your project. For the DSA role, I would say your DSA and problem solving is the deal breaking point. So you should focus more on problem solving. And there is a huge gap between the online assessment round and the actual interview. The actual interview is really easier as compared to what we are going to do in our lab in the online assessment. So prepare thoroughly. If you just good in linear data structure, it's enough.
Okay, so moving on to the next question. Nikhil asked from Ruchi that how much knowledge of system design needed to target specialist role, and how many questions they ask on system design.
In our batch, they didn't ask about system design questions, and I would say very few companies ask for system design questions to freshers. They are mostly for someone who has a minimum of 1 year of experience. Nowadays, you may have heard from a lot of YouTubers and content creators about people asking system design in their interviews. But I would say for specialist programmer role, at least if you are a 2027 or 2028 batch student, focus more on DSA and have good 2 to 3 projects. I mean, if you are a web developer, if you are targeting such roles, then have full stack development projects. And if you are making a resume in machine learning, AI, then make projects in that domain. System design is not much needed for these roles. But if you are a first or second year student and you have already good grasp of DSA and have good projects, then you can go into system design and learn. Thank you.
Okay, so the next question from Hanshika is, during coding round, if you get stuck in the questions, how much of you should complete if partial answers are also selected in the complex questions?
Well,
I think, yes, I also think that partial answers get selected in the interview coding rounds. Like if you are stuck in a problem, then give at least 15 to 20 minutes for each problem for solving the question. If you are not able to solve within the 15 or 20 minutes time span, then try to jump to the next question if possible. And in my scenario also, in round two, when we went in Noida for giving the round two of Infosys, uh, uh, in complex question was far easier than the hard question. But many of the students got stuck in hard questions only and weren't able to solve complex questions. And even if we are not able to solve the whole problem, at least try to pass 8 to 9 test cases. And that's all.
Thank you, Shubham. We would also like to take Ruchi's side for this question also. Can we have your opinion?
yeah, sure. During coding round, if you get stuck in a question, I would say go again through the examples they have shared. For each OA, you will be shown 2 to 3 examples and a proper stepwise sequence of how the input was fed and the output came. So with that, you will get a better idea of how to frame your code. Uh, Writing partial code will fail all the test cases. So if your code is partially correct, what I mean is if you have written the complete code, but you can't pass all the test cases, then only your question taken for partial marking. Otherwise, if you have written half code, meaning there is no output coming or all the outputs are failed, then you won't get any mark for that. When you started preparing for the Infosys coding round, how did you approach DSA? Did you follow any? Yes, I followed 2 sheets, one from Shraddha Khapra and one from Striver. For Shraddha Khapra, I did the easy to medium questions and I almost completed the sheet from Striver. For platform, I used lead code mostly. Which DSA topics did you focus on the most for the actual Infosys coding round, and which topics turned out to be the most useful? In Infosys, I would say go through all the topics. You can skip the advanced topics like try, not tree. Tree is very important. There is an advanced topic called try. You can skip that. But you must do bits. There are a few questions on bits, but in Infosys coding interviews, they add bits to different type of questions. Like you must know and or though and how to do that, how bits act in the real coding environment. That one is very important. Other than that, stack, queue, trees, graphs are really important. You must know about them. Should I have completely command on DSA and then development should be started, or should learn both simultaneously? If you learn both simultaneously, I would say it will be very difficult because you will have classes too, you will have to prepare for semester exams too. So having three parallel tracks will make you very less efficient. I would say just do the DSA first because you will need a lot of practice. For 3 to 4 months, focus purely on DSA, complete any one sheet or any one course if you have taken a course. Then you can follow with development. Along with development, keep on practicing DSA for on an average half to 1 hour.
Thank you, Ruchi. Does anyone else have any other question?
Student, this is the very important discussion going on. You should ask your all the queries here. They are the seniors, those who have successfully cleared all the rounds of the Infosys, and they are very well versed with the technologies. So, किसी को भी कोई question है, they can ask them. Mic on करके पूछ सकते हैं. They can put the question in the message box also. शर्माने की जरूरत नहीं है. ये आप ही के senior हैं. They are like friends. बहुत ही हेल्प मिलेगी आपको इस इन्फोसिस को क्रैक करने के लिए.
Hello. Am I audible now?
Yes, Lakshya, you're audible.
I was asking that my project has programmed 3 projects and all 3 are based on AI and machine learning and something related to that. So I was asking, is that too much AI on my project? Should I try to make some other project like out of 3 probably, or not all 3 should be related to AI? Although I do want to go in AI, is that too much of AI? Was I audible?
Yes, Lakshya. Actually, I would say if you are 100% sure that you want to go in ML or AI domain, that there is no issue in having all AI projects. But if you are unsure, then you can prepare separate 2 projects, and based on the company and role you are applying for, use separate resumes. Make a resume for a web development role in which add 1 ML and 2 web development projects, and similarly a separate project for ML or AI roles. But for if you ask me for the Infosys interview that you will be having in a few weeks, I guess, then you don't have to change any projects. I would say just focus on DSA. They don't care about the domain you are having your project in. They care more about how much knowledge you have of that domain. The interviewers will be of, I will say there will be 3 to 4 interviewers from each domain. So if you are having a resume full of AI, they will assign you the interviewer who have AI knowledge. There will be no such issue.
Okay.
When you see a completely new coding problem, how do you approach it step by step? So, Hanshika, for a completely new problem, I would say I go for the brute force approach first, like just very lenient and brute force approach, how without thinking anything about space and time complexity. Then I recall all the important data structures I have and which will fit the best. Then, based on that, I optimize that problem. Thinking brute force first gives you a brief idea of what improvements you need to make in terms of time and space complexity. And when you are completely new to DSA, you will find yourself stuck and you will get very, I would say, tired sometimes by getting a lot of new data structures and a lot of new algorithms, but you will just keep on going. Just for the first time when you are solving a sheet or having a course, without thinking about anything that मेरे से नहीं हो रहा ये या it is sometimes it gets really irritating. Just go through the sheet once. अगर आपको हर दूसरा क्वेश्चन भी YouTube वीडियो से समझना पड़ रहा है ना, तो कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है उसमें. इट इज कम्प्लीटली नॉर्मल. ज्यादातर बच्चे इसीलिए सेकंड और थर्ड डेटा स्ट्रक्चर के बाद स्किप कर देते हैं उसे. Don't do that. Just go through the whole sheet, and before any proper interview, I would say go through your sheet at least twice. If you had only 1 month to prepare for Hack with Infi, what would you focus on the most? Could you also suggest what we should prepare in DSA, coding, and other technical areas based on your experience? If I had only 1 month, I would say if I had my projects prepared, I would only focus on DSA. And if I had not prepared well enough for my projects, I would give half of my day to preparing projects. I would then have prepared minimum of 2 good projects, and then rest of my time would have gone to DSA. For DSA, I just take any one good famous sheet you can. My suggestions would be Love Babbar, Striver, Shraddha Khapra. You can pick any one of them and just complete that sheet thoroughly. You must know intuition of every question in that sheet. Don't go for sheets having thousands of questions or 500 questions. First, pick a sheet with about 200 to 250 questions so that you will get an overall idea of what DSA is, and you will go through almost all the algorithms and structures required. Other technical areas, I would say, are CS fundamentals I discussed earlier are really important for interview. Can you share a strategy breakdown while solving any question in these OS? How to analyze which pattern can be applied, or how to work on our intuition building skill more and more in this question to know about the strategy of all 3. Okay, so the OA will be of 3 hours. Okay, so first I would suggest you to go through all the 3 questions. Then you will get a fair idea of which question you are getting intuition of. Go and complete that question first. In that OA, if you will complete about 2 or 1.6 plus questions, you will for sure get shortlisted for the interview. I would say target 2 questions minimum. Just read all the questions first, get a basic idea of which 2 questions you are confident about, then start solving those questions. First, if you have done a similar question, then it will be very easy for you. But if you think you can have a better intuition, then write the brute force first, then optimize it.
I have a question. So
Sure.
I have solved a lot of these questions, probably not. But the 2 or 3 topics that I haven't solved many problems from are dynamic programming, greedy, and advanced graph. So things like Dijkstra's algorithm, or network flow, or that. How important are these? Should I focus them on now, or should I just revise the case?
Okay, since you have only 1 month left, I would say first, if you are very confident about rest of the DSA topics, then you can get a good idea of DP. But if you stuck in some of the problems of the rest of the topics, then get a good grasp of that first. The first question you will get will be easy. That will be a mathematical question, no major advanced algorithms. The second question is medium. It sometimes goes to DP level, but most of the time it stays at trees and graphs level. The third question will surely have advanced topics like DP graph, or it may go down to tries also. So if you are confident about whatever you have learned yet in DSA, then I would suggest you at least do greedy approach, if not dynamic programming, as dynamic programming will consume a lot of your time. Looking back at your college journey, what is the one thing you wish someone had told you earlier? I would say a proper track. For in the first and the second year, I went through a lot of YouTube channels and a lot of sheets, lot of courses. So if I had a proper guidance of which courses, which channels to use and which not to, that would have been a lot better. A lot of time would have saved. Which it did you follow? Shraddha Khapra's sheet I followed. It has approximately 250 to 300 questions. What advice would you give to students who face rejection during their first few placement attempts? I would say it is very normal. You may feel demotivated because after preparing for 4 years in the final year, some of your friends are getting offers and you are getting rejected. It is okay, completely okay to feel that, but it is really normal. It is completely normal to face rejections, and especially when you are a fresher. Just don't let that demotivate you. Keep on working hard. Keep on improving your skills.
Is there anybody else who wants to ask question? So Ruchi, can you please share few more valuable advices with the students?
Yeah, sure. Since most of you are fourth year students, or there are third year students too. There are third year students too, right? Okay, so for third year students, I would say uh, make sure you take out at least 2 hours of your day for DSA. Um, if you have very good projects and if you have not done DSA, it will be very difficult to get a role above 5 or 6. But if you have a very good DSA and medium projects, then it becomes very easy to get a good role. Most of the companies, if you will try off campus too, they will take first DSA and OA round. So DSA is the major factor. And for fourth year students, I would say uh, for now, for Infosys, only 1 month is left. So just revise and properly take a good grasp of whatever you have done till now. If you have no knowledge of DSA, then do basic data structures only. For that, you will easily crack the first question. And for DSE level, getting 1 to 1.5 question right is okay. And one more advice, informal advice I would like to give you is get a good look at the examples they have solved in the question. Most of the times, if you don't even understand the question and if you understand the steps, just code those steps in your language, and a few test cases get solved, and it really helps you in getting better marks. Apart from DSA, what are the determine whether a student gets shortlisted for a good software role? Apart from DSA, projects are really important, and internships, if you have done from a good company, that gives a good start to your profile. But they don't, if you don't have an internship but you have good projects, then that's all right. Another thing you can do is if you have a good research project under any professor, but very few students have that, so it is completely normal not to have that. But on the students who have that, they get a better chance of getting or of cracking their interviews. CGPA, CGPA. I don't think Infosys selects on have any criteria for CGPA. But if you have a good CGPA, I would say minimum 7.5 plus. It gives a good impression. Otherwise, CGPA plays a role in shortlisting only. Do you think solving fewer problems deeply is better than solving? Obviously, the problem you are solving, you must understand each step of that, the problem, the solution, and why we chose that particular data structure. This is very important. How to get out of tutorial hell? Sometime I get I have switched from CPP. I halted the prep and did projects in Python. Now switched to Python for DSA. Okay, for this, I would say when you are preparing, especially, okay, let us take an example for DSA. You have a very long syllabus for that. So it really becomes hectic. And after from arrays to stack, then you go back to arrays, back to basics, and then you get trapped in that. So for that, I would say when you start any projects or DSA, let's say, make notes of that for basic syntax of that language, then for arrays, and that when you write from with your hand, it gets stored in your muscle memory, and it's very easy to recall and revise that. If you only follow a tutorial, do the code, then you again will forget that, and you will not get a clear idea of where I can revise that. If you have something to revise that, you won't have to again and again watch the same lectures from different channels.
Anybody else who wants to ask any other question?
Yes, there is a time limit of total 3 hours. The all the three questions you can switch between them. There is no time limit for a particular question. A total time limit of 3 hours there is only.
Thank you, Ruchi.
Right.
Okay, Pratyaksh and Nikhil are also asking a few more questions from Shubham and Nishant. The question is, can you share about the approach, strategy, breakdown while solving any question in these OAs? How to analyze which pattern can be applied, or how to work on our intuition building skill more and more? This question is to know about the strategy of all three.
Okay, so it's a very interesting question. This is the problem that mostly students face during the contest or the OAs, because they have solved so many problems like 300, 400, but still can't solve problems during OA, because there are so many topics and you don't know which one to apply on this specific problem. So my first suggestion is to read the problem carefully, because there is always some specific information that you always left behind. So read the problem 2 to 3 times, write everything important on the paper, and then start writing a brute force solution. Not on code, write on pen paper, and then analyze how can I make the solution from n square to n log n or n root n. Like if there is a searching happening in order of n, you can just change it to log n by using binary search on answer. Or if there is a range-based queries in question, you can use a segment tree. So this is how this works. You can just break down the problem in simpler component, like here is searching happening, and then the sorting happening, and then we are arranging the components, and this is your final solution. So solve each of the components in less time complexity, like using a log for searching using log n, and sorting using n log n. So this is how you can solve a specific problem. And on top of that, the most important thing is to practice contest, especially like giving contest on lead code, which happen on Saturday and Sunday, and contest on code chef on Wednesday and code forces. I mean, contest is the thing where the real growth happens. Instead of just solving hundreds of problems, participate in contest and see whether you can solve problems on OS or not. Okay, so next question: are they looking for full stack developer who has whole system knowledge, or they chasing candidate based on project they made on? Okay, so Nikhil, I have a very interesting question. There are, I would say, three type of companies. Your question is very interesting. There is tier one companies which are product based, like Google, Microsoft. They purely focus on DSA and your competitive programming. They don't look at your project. If you have any, it's good. And but the main thing is project. Main thing is DSA. There are around 5 to 7 rounds of DSA in Google, and for and then comes the second category of companies which are service based like Infosys TCS, and they are DSA as well as your development. You should be good at, not really good, but you should have at least 2 to 3 full stack projects and good at SQL as well. And then comes the startup, the third type. Startups are also two type. Like there are new startups, really new, which are just looking for developers. They don't look for any DSA. They just want someone who can do their job. And there comes the like little old startups like PhonePe, Zomato. They ask DSA and development as well, and their DSA is really hard, like touching the Google level. Like I recently gave the Uber online assessment. The online assessment was really, I mean, hard. I did cover the first round, and first round is elimination round, and then the other 3 rounds are not elimination. They compute your whole, like they compute your answers, and based on that, they judge if you are going to get selected for interview or not. So if you are targeting more on product-based company, you should focus more on DSA, not only on lead code. Start solving problems on code forces. I would say like the best thing that someone would suggest me in my first year was code forces. Uh, I start solving problems on code forces in third year, but for those who are in third year, second year, should start problems on code forces instead of lead code and code chef. How do you want to write code from scratch and how to write code from there is a boilerplate or template is given, but we can write down code from scratch. I personally recommend write down code from scratch because it does not take any much of time. Yeah. Okay, so the challenges I faced during learning journey. The one of the most crucial or most challenging thing that was happening with me, I spent a lot of time solving easier problem. Like uh, I realized that I have solved all the easy problem on Codesas and didn't spend much time on learning new concepts like segment tree and bandwidth tree and advanced data structure like disjoint set union. So I have to pause down that a little bit and start learning new concepts and spend more time in harder problem. Like if you are watching solution video for every single question, it's okay. It's, I mean, you are learning something new. If I mean, if you solve a problem, if you're not able to solve a problem, watch the solution video and write down the code again, and then remember everything how this problem was solved. And if there is any new concept, write down in your notebook or whatever. If lead code for matter or skill. Okay, so I mean, after the AI introduced, I think your rating and your lead code score or code score doesn't matter at all. Because many participants are using AI and it's really hard to push to new rating. I mean, I have been struggling for 1 year in pupil ranking. Like it took me 1 year to reach from new to pupil and then to specialist. So yeah, uh, focus more on like solving problems instead of just increasing your rating on these scores. According to your experience, what uh, I would say DSA. Like my interview gave me 5 questions on DSA, and he gave me 15 minutes, and I solved all of them in like 5 to 6 minutes. Like when he was giving me questions that you are giving, I was solving that in my head. Okay, I will do this and this and this. So I solved the 5 questions. This was the only deal breaker. I didn't know SQL queries and didn't make any good project. So yeah, you should be really good at DSA. And if you're targeting F0, I think you should know little bit of system design and uh, your project. And yes, communication play a good role. I mean, you should be really good at explaining your solution. I mean, if you are not able to explain your solution, the interview is like, okay, you have memorized this solution. So, if there any question,
Anybody else who want to ask anything else?
Pratyaksh question I would add on that how to approach any OA or the problem that is given in the Infosys round. So the first thing is like if you want to build your intuition, then you must have practiced most of the problems. Like I'm not saying to solve 1,000 or 1,500 problems to tell your friends that I have solved 1,000 problems, but at least you have solved 50 questions deeply and understood what is happening in the problem. So first thing I do in these rounds is first read the problem carefully, and I try to write a basic brute force approach. Like I will not write, I would directly write it on the paper or I would write it on the screen and try to solve it through brute force. And even if it have any space complexity or time complexity, even if the time limit exceeds, I would first solve using brute force because many of the problems are just able to be solved in brute force. After that, I try to find the keywords that are given in the problem. Like in some problems, it is required that we give the answers after sorting. Like if we take a topic like binary search on answer, then what happens is we have a set of answers and we try to find the best answer out of it. So we know the lower limit and the higher limit that what could possibly be the answer. So I would directly understand by reading the problem that I would shift to binary search on answer. Like this also, there are many problems that directly give the idea that we should use TP or greedy. So first solve using brute force, then after understanding the problem or reading it 2 or 3 times, then I would shift towards optimizing my problem. Like I would reduce my space complexity using my any data structures, or use my or change my time complexity using my any approach. As Ruchi said, she also uses this approach, and I also find this approach the best. And to build the intuition, just focus on what's happening in the question, not just you get a question and solve it and you watch a video on YouTube and just solve. Try to find the intuition behind it. Like why did we use this approach only, and why did we use other approaches to solve this question? This way, solving a question becomes far more easier, and in long run, it becomes best for problem solving and builds the logic for any candidate. And also, as Sahil asked that. What was, according to your experience, what played the biggest role in your selection? So for me, DSA, projects and communication, these three things were the most important. So DSA is the most important. If I'm talking about Infosys, then DSA should be focused on. Like even if you don't have a strong project, even if you have a medium level of project, DSA should be your the best. Like you should have a strong word in DSA because when you enter in the interview starts only from the DSA problem. They will not even ask about your introduction or something, because most of the interviewers just want that you should have a good DSA. And second is I will rank communication, because even if you are having a strong DSA and you give a propose a solution to the interviewer, but the way you are proposing the solution to the interviewer, that matters too. Like, is the interviewer able to understand your solution? Because to solve any problem, we can have 2 to 3 approaches for the same problem, and there might be same time and space complexity for that same problem. So if the interviewer have a different approach in their mind, and if you have any different approach, then try to convince them and try to give them examples or something that you have used this approach and why have you used this approach. So DSA projection communication.
Okay, so does anybody else have any other question? Okay, now I would like to invite our esteemed guest, Dr. Sanjeev Sir, Chairperson, CSC Guru Jambeshwar University of Science and Technology. So we are truly honored to have you with us today. I would request you to kindly share a few words with us.
Okay. First of all, heartiest congratulations to the Training and Placement Cell for successfully organizing an insightful and inspirational panel discussion. And I want to ask some questions to the panelists. What the department can do for the students in this regard, for the placement regard. Can anybody in the panelist, can anybody give me the answer?
Yes, Nishant.
So I think department can organize coding contests every week. I mean, coding contest can give us a good approach of how to solve problems in online assessment. So organizing coding contest would be a great like step from our department.
Okay. Anything else we can do?
And I think inviting guys who are working in tech, mostly like software developers, for webinars to guide students to how to like get good in problem solving, data structure, and get good place in tier 1 companies like Google, Microsoft, so that everyone have an idea that what should we do. Everyone have a clear path.
Okay. At the syllabus and scheme level, we can change anything?
Yes, sir. Actually, most of the things the software-based companies ask are CS fundamentals, which already we teach students in the classes, but the level and the amount of topics taught in our curriculum till now are not up to that level, I believe it. And also, we have DSA in second year itself. The DSA we are taught is the curriculum is, I think it's too old for the DSA asked in the companies. We should introduce the new algorithms that are majorly asked nowadays in companies. The dynamic programming section, which is very important, is of only, I would say, a very less weightage. And if the students must study for the exams, and if they already know that the bar and the level of the exam is good, then they will automatically be better prepared for the placement.
Okay. Now we have changed the syllabus and syllabus and the scheme. From the first year, we have started in the first semester we have the C++, and in the second semester we have the DSA. Right?
Then that's a really good change, I believe.
अब फर्स्ट ईयर से हम पूरा चेंज कर रहे हैं. फर्स्ट ईयर से हमने सिलेबस को कंप्लीटली चेंज कर दिया है. अब हमने उसमें फिजिक्स केमिस्ट्री को हटा दिया है कंप्लीटली। अब हमने उसमें सिर्फ स्टार्टिंग से ही प्रॉब्लम सॉल्विंग का रखा हुआ है C++ के अंदर, और सेकंड में हमने उसमें वेब डेवलपमेंट का भी फर्स्ट सेमेस्टर में डाल दिया है, और सेकंड सेमेस्टर में हमारा DSA है, और हम जावा को वो कर रहे हैं।
This will really help students in the long run, because in our time, the first year went studying physics, chemistry, math, which was very irrelevant to the placements. Also, along with that, I would say the type of exams and minor exams we take in our university, they are very theoretical and not up to the mark. Like, I think at least minors should be at the level of the gate exams, because questions asked in the
Got it.
placements are not that correct.
और अगर आप डिपार्टमेंट में आए तो प्लीज मेरे से मिलिएगा, तो और हम उसके ऊपर बैठ के सिलेबस और स्कीम में कुछ जो टॉपिक्स हैं वो भी हम इंक्लूड कर सकते हैं। एनी अदर सजेशन, द वेलकम ऑलवेज।
Sure, sir. Thank you.
Any other suggestions, please?
Shubham, Nishant.
So the students should gain knowledge practically, like all since my batch also, as Ruchi said, we were more focused on the theoretical part of a computer science 4-year study. So like it should be more practical. The minors or the majors should have more practical questions rather than just theoretical and asking about how to, like they ask what is dynamic programming, but the question should be a lead code problem or other problems, like how to solve that problem, not just theoretically learning about that topic. So I would like to have just a bit change, like in this level, that instead of just focusing theoretically, the student should be more practically approachable to the syllabus or the problems. And because most of the companies asked DSAs and projects for in the interviews, so students should have a good grasp on DSA and projects. So they, apart from the syllabus that we are being taught, there should be, I think, extra classes, or maybe there should be some courses that are provided by the our department, so that they could focus on that DSA and projects. And to teach those, there should be good teachers as well. But some of the students that are in the final year or that are alumni of our campus, they have a good knowledge about what is asked in the interviews and thing. So they should be brought in the university and they should teach their juniors as well. So because they would have a good, the students will have a good connection with their seniors, and overall the productivity will be increased.
We are working on that. We are making the alumni association now. The registration part चल रहा है. जैसे alumni association होगी तो आपके definitely semester में ही कोई एक दो alumni के ना lectures वगैरह हम जरूर करवाएंगे अब की बारी. इसके ऊपर हम काम कर रहे हैं.
That would be really good, sir.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much, sir, for your valuable words. Now I would like to invite Ashish for his vote of thanks.
Thank you, Sonika. It's my privilege to propose the vote of thanks on the behalf of the students. Dr. Pratap Malik sir, Director Placement Cell, Aditya Veer sir, Assistant Director Placement Cell, and Sanjeev sir, Chairperson Department of CSC, that you have give valuable instruction to our students, and thanks for giving your time. And a special thanks to our senior students who have been selected in Infosys for taking out their valuable time and sharing their experience, preparation strategies, and interview tips. Your journey and have definitely given us a clear idea about how we should prepare for upcoming Infosys Drive. I hope we all take the important learnings from today's session and use them in our preparation. Once again, thank you everyone for your valuable time, guidance, and support. Thank you and have a great day. Now, I would request Pratap sir to have some words for the students. I have already shared. All the best to all the students and good luck to all the great gems of CSC department who have gone to Infosys, and they will keep the flag of university high in Infosys. Good.
And I request all the students to please kindly pass on the message to the fellow mates who has not joined this very important panel discussion. And you should inform them what they have missed. And kindly make sure that you talk to them and motivate and guide them, because I think they are not on the right track right now. They need to be put on the right track. If they want to get good job in the coming future, they need to attend these kind of panel discussions and all. And in the last, I request all the students to please switch on the video so that we can have a group photograph that can be used for a news publication.
Students, switch on your video. Okay, thank you.
Tika, I think it was a very wonderful session, and thank you once again, the panelists, Shubham, Nishant, Ruchi, and Pushpender. It was lovely hearing from your side, and I think students have gained a lot of new things, and they're going to start preparing what you have suggested to them. And it was very wonderful to see you again, guys. And whenever you come to the university or Hisar, please do meet us. And I would be like to be in touch with you guys. And thank you, Sanjeev sir, and for coming and sharing what changes you have done as you have become the chairperson of the department. And this very good changes has been done in the CSC department. Thank you. Thank you once again.